In the decaying town of Ravensmoor, whispers of the supernatural brushed against the cold wind like the rustling dead leaves that littered the streets. Jane, a young journalist with a thirst for the truth, arrived at the crumbling mansion on the edge of town. She had heard the rumors of the house being haunted, but such tales did little to deter her. She lived for unraveling mysteries. The mansion, known as Blackwood Manor, loomed in front of her, its windows like darkened eyes watching her every move. The wooden door creaked open under the slightest touch, inviting her into its vast, shadowy interior. As Jane stepped inside, she immediately felt an icy chill that seemed to seep into her very bones. The air was heavy with the scent of mold and decay. Cobwebs hung like thick curtains in every corner, and the furniture was draped in white sheets, resembling ghosts frozen in time. Her flashlight's beam cut through the darkness, creating eerie shadows that danced on the walls. Each step she took was accompanied by the sound of creaking floorboards, an almost rhythmic groaning of the old house settling. In the distance, she could hear a faint whispering, indistinct and barely audible, like voices carried on the wind. Determined, Jane followed the whispers down a narrow hallway, the walls closing in on her like a tomb. At the end of the hall, she found a door slightly ajar. Pushing it open, she revealed an old study, dust-covered books lining the shelves and a grand desk in the center, scattered with yellowing papers. As she approached the desk, she noticed an old journal, its leather cover cracked and brittle. Hesitantly, she opened it. The pages were filled with frantic, almost illegible scrawls. Tales of madness, despair, and sightings of shadowy figures that lurked within the manor's walls. Suddenly, a cold breeze swept through the room, extinguishing her flashlight. She was plunged into darkness, a darkness so suffocating it felt almost alive. The whispers grew louder, more insistent. Shadows began to move around her, no longer content to stay hidden. Jane's heart pounded in her chest as fear wrapped its icy fingers around her throat. She fumbled for her flashlight, but it was torn from her grasp by an unseen force. The shadows closed in, their whispers a cacophony of despair and anger. In a flash of clarity, Jane realized that the stories were true, and she was not alone in the mansion. She could feel their anger, their pain, swarming around her. And just as quickly as it started, the shadows retreated, the whispers fading into silence. Her flashlight flickered back to life, its beam weak but steady. Gathering her courage, Jane ran from the study, the mysterious journal clutched tightly in her hand. She knew she had to leave Blackwood Manor and never return. As she stepped out into the night, she glanced back at the mansion one last time. In the window of the study, she saw a shadow, tall and unmoving, staring back at her. With a shiver, she turned and fled, vowing to tell the world of the horrors she had encountered. But deep down, she knew that some stories were better left untold.